What is a navigator? A navigator is designed to be anything you want it to be. An adventure platform for you and your family. Luxury, comfort, space, and ruggedness all packed into this amazing package. Come and join me and Sam as we leave Thurleston as the sun rises to head down to Batson Slip to jump on the Navigator 26 and start this epic adventure day. We're so excited to be able to go and have a look at the Eddystone Lighthouse, as well as taking in some of the hopefully amazing wildlife along the way. Come with us and check out this Nav 26. Hi there and welcome back to the Wolf Rock YouTube channel. Today we are doing something a little bit special. I'm really excited to say we've got the Navigator 26 behind me. The Duoprop 350 from Suzuki is warming up as we speak. We're about to get that boat off the Tetra dock and head out to do something a little bit special. We were out last night at the Rock Box in Thurleston looking out over the bay, and it was flat calm, no wind. We checked the weather for today and again it is exactly the same, and we wanted to do something that was a little bit different to showcase what this boat is all about. So we're going to go on an adventure to Eddystone Lighthouse, dating back to 1698, 9 miles off the coast of Plymouth, about 20 miles or so from here. This is exactly the type of adventure that a Navigator 26 is designed for. The Nav 26 is the latest model from the guys at Brig. It's the updated version of the Navigator. It's a proper adventure boat designed for swimming, snorkeling, wakeboarding, fishing, family adventure. It's got loads and loads of fuel in the tank. This boat has been back and forth to Jersey recently. So today we're going to go out, check out the wildlife around the lighthouse, check out the lighthouse, probably pop into Plymouth for a quick drink and then back into Salcombe. So it's going to be a real proper day on the water. So come with us and let's check out the Nav 26. Right, so here we are out on the water. We've delayed the start of the trip by about half an hour on the basis that I've not put fuel in this boat before. There was some fuel on board and the fuel gauge was reading half-ish or so full, but boat fuel gauges are notoriously unreliable, and that is just what it is. It's not that it's bad technology, it's just that obviously a fuel tank in a boat moves around a lot. So it's very difficult to find out, if you've not put fuel in, exactly how much fuel is left in the boat. So what I like to do before I go out, and I've said this in a number of videos, I think it's a really good tip for those that, again, are just filling their boat up regularly but using the fuel gauge, for example, on their MFD, is go into your Garmin, go onto the Vessels tab on the Garmin and across to the Fuel tab. Now on this tab here you're going to get loads of bits of data. On yours it might look slightly different to this, and you can change any of these tabs to put whatever bit of data you want. So this one here, I've already changed it to fuel use, but if I was going to change it, I'd go into replace data. You want to go down to the trip tab and then go to the trip fuel used. Now that will then give you a fuel used marker here, and that is the exact amount of fuel that the engine is taking in from the fuel tank. So at the beginning I've just put 100 litres in the boat, so I knew there was roughly 150 litres in already, but again I didn't put it in, so I want to make sure that we've got the amount of fuel that we need to get back on what's probably going to be a 50 or so mile trip. So on here I would then press and hold. I've put that 100 litres in, I would reset that trip, say yes, and now that says 0.0 litres. So as we're coming out of Salcombe, I know that I have got 100 litres definitely in the tank. It's showing that we've probably got somewhere in the region of 160 to 200 litres already in. So we are basically on a full tank. We're ready to go. We've controlled that controllable, and now I can go about having a very relaxed day. So we'll have a little look on the chart in a minute, point ourselves towards the Edystone. I've got my relief shading also on my phone so I can see where the rocks are when we get a little bit close to the lighthouse, which we'll talk you through. But now it's just about pointing the bow out, having some fun, putting the power down and seeing what that 350 duo prop can do on this new Navigator hull. It is a very, very nice boat to drive, so I'm really excited to show you all about it. So come with us and let's go. Right, so this really is an adventure day and we're going to film it as it comes. We're looking for wildlife, we're looking for fish, we're just generally seeing what's out here on the water, and we've just seen a couple of pods of diving birds. And diving birds is a great sign for those that are looking for dolphins, great sign for dolphins. For those that are fishing, really good sign of bass. Potentially nowadays down on this coast, it's also a sign of the new residents, the new kings on the block, and that is the bluefin tuna. So, and where the tuna are, the dolphin are, where the dolphin are, the minke whales are, where those are, we've also got mackerel, we've got bass. There's so much wildlife out here at the moment, and that's the beauty of a navigator. You know, we're on an adventure, we can stop, we can see what's going on, and there's some seagulls over there with a couple of fishing boats dotted around them that have found them before us. So we're just gonna have a quick look and see what's going on. Some gannets chasing us over the top of the boat. It is truly wonderful out here today. As you can see, it is like glass. Very, very low winds, super, super clear. And I think this is going to be the first of many opportunities to see some wildlife and maybe get the fishing rods out for 10 minutes as well. So let's go see what's going on. I'm pretty sure these are mackerel. They're not making a huge amount of disturbance on the surface, but I'm going to pop a jig through and just see what we've got. Sam pans that camera over towards those birds. You can see where the fish are. Right, again, we've just finished with those birds. I think it was mackerel that was coming up to the surface. And we've just moved slightly further down, and that looks like small tuna. I can't quite work out what that is. Maybe it's dolphins, maybe it's tuna, but we've got something busting on the surface here. It looks a bit more dolphin-like, actually, with the way it's porpoising. So we're just going to slow the boat down as we come through here and see what we can see. In fact, it is. It looks like porpoise. It's quite a small porpoise. In fact, that's exactly what it is. If Sam just moves the camera around, so I'm just taking the boat right down in terms of speed. I don't want to chase these. I thought they were tuna, to be honest. They were coming right out of the water, but oh no, they are, I'm not sure exactly what those are. Common dolphins, potentially, but that is what it's all about. It's going to come off the engine and see if these dolphins will come alongside us, but I'm moving away from them. There you go. They are right alongside us. That is awesome. And it just shows we've come right down 6-7 knots, and they're just playing in the wake of the boat. There's absolutely no point in chasing these dolphins around. If they want to spend time with you, if you look at the back, Sam, there's one right in the wake. If they want to spend time with you, they will. Swimming right in the back of the wake of the boat. Some really big dolphins there. A couple of big ones, a couple of small ones. Just having a great time. This really is what it's all about on the water. at them jumping in the back of the wake there. Great to see them. It's just so good to see so much wildlife out here at the moment. There's obviously big shoals of mackerel and baitfish. The guys are coming right up alongside this rib. We're doing 7 knots in a straight line and just allowing those dolphins to come to us. And as quickly as they appeared, there is one's popping up on the side of the boat. As quickly as they've appeared, they'll get on with their day. There's a lot of baitfish ahead of us now. I can actually see the birds starting to dive again, and those dolphins will be on their way to that. And playing with this boat will soon become not much fun when they get their head around the fact there's a massive shoal of baitfish over there, which is exactly where they are heading. So really cool to see them. And this is what a Navigator 26 is all about. Look at that dolphin just turning over in the wake there, just having a great time. It's a big old pod. We've probably got 50 or so dolphins around us, and maybe 100 yards ahead of us I can see maybe another 100 or so bouncing around. My dolphin knowledge is not fantastic. I think these are common dolphins, but no doubt Big Blair will correct me on that when we put the video out. Very, very special to be around these amazing creatures, and very privileged to be on a boat like this. This is exactly what a Navigator is about. Adventures on the water. Now that is cool. So we're seeing an awful lot of octopus and an awful lot of jellyfish around this year, and I think that's what these dolphins are eating. It's interesting when you find them, certainly this year, I've not watched them do this very often. They get really slow and just sit in a spot. You can just see they're almost like sipping bait and eating kind of, I think it's the octopus and the jellyfish. And once you find them, I mean, now we're just sat dead still and we are surrounded by dolphins. I mean, they're using their bubbles to surround fish. You can see them kind of making bubble trails, and then they'll pop up afterwards. It's so cool. Right, so we've stopped for these dolphins and we're now heading towards the lighthouse, and we are coming up against pod after pod. If Sam just turns it to the right there, of common dolphins, all heading in the direction of some bait fish. You can see them playing in our wake all the way back at the back of the boat. It's just been absolutely fantastic to see them. Like I said in an earlier bit, I don't know whether they'll make it in the video, I'm not a massive dolphin identification expert, and I think Big Blair will no doubt correct me on a lot of these dolphins, but these are common dolphins. Last time we were out we saw Risso dolphins, which I think were feeding on the big groups of squid that we're seeing, and it's just unbelievable how many of these common dolphins are out here. I mean, we've just come across probably 3 pods of 50 dolphins, maybe 100 dolphins, and yeah, it's just unbelievable to see. An amazing moment, and it's only from a vessel like this that you're going to get a chance to see this with your family. It really is a very, very special thing, and I wish Georgia, my wife, and Morwenna, my little one, was with me, because it's just phenomenal. Me and Sam are high-fiving like little kids as we watch these dolphins. Here they are here on our right-hand side now, just slowly edging towards us. We're doing 7 knots. I'm just going in a dead straight line at the moment and letting them do whatever they want to do. They'll either come underneath us, they might turn sideways and come alongside us as they are now. What an unbelievable experience that is. I mean, you can see they're playing in the wake at the front of the bow, just checking the boat out. The trick is don't go chasing them, let them come to you. And they are doing flips in the back wake. Look at this dolphin here. He's absolutely loving it. That is just incredible. And just so cool to see. Right, that is probably enough of these dolphins. We're going to we could stay with them all day. I can see the lighthouse in the mist in the distance, so let's head to Edystone and have a little look at this amazing structure, which I am super excited to see because I've never been out there. Maybe get the fishing rods out, but just amazing. What a day on the water. Right, so as you can see, we've reached Eddystone Lighthouse. That is an amazing thing to see coming up out of nowhere. You know, these rocks come up out of, we're in probably 100 feet of water, maybe only 140 feet of water, just there, all the way up to the lighthouse. And to think there's been a structure on there since 1698, it is quite a phenomenal thing. That's 49 meters high, that tower, and a huge reef all the way around it. And you think the mariners and the boats that have passed that lighthouse coming from much further afield, and that's the first light that they'd see on their way into Plymouth. It really is a very cool place to sit and relax, and on a day like this, there is just nothingness, and it's perfect. So I think the plan for us now is to get the drone up, have a little look around. We've got a couple of fishing rods, so I think we might drift around the other side. As you can see, a few other fishing boats may have had the same idea. I think we've probably got 15 or so fishing boats there. But yeah, what an amazing structure. So cool. So as I said, it is quite amazing to think there's been a structure on this piece of rock since 1698. This particular iteration of Eddystone Lighthouse was finished in 1881, automated in 1982, and stands at 49 meters high. It really does boggle the mind building structures like this all the way out in the middle of the ocean. And it was just great to sit and spend some time alongside this historic structure. Time to get the rods out and see if we can find a few fish. Couldn't resist a little go on the fishing rods. We're just over the back of Edystone, as you can see, and we're marking a few fish on the Garmin. We're in about 30 feet of water, just fishing a 40-gram weedless jig over the rocky kind of outcrops here, just to see if there's anything down there that fancies taking a lure. There's definitely bait fish down there. So all we're doing, for those that haven't fished before, and this is what I love about a Navigator, is obviously you can have your fishing rods on board, you can have your paddle boards on the roof, loads of space for the family, loads of storage, dry bags, that sort of thing. You've got loads of space on the bow. I'm just quickly testing that this jig is the right weight before we get stuck into a proper drift. But all we're doing at the moment is, I've got a 40-gram weedless jig, 25 or so pound braid with a 18-pound fluorocarbon leader and a clip, so I can then change weights as and when I need it. And I'm just dropping it down all the way to the bottom, and then just feeling the bottom, letting it stop. And then when it hits the bottom like that, just lift the rod up and then slowly feel it all the way back down to the bottom. Just stay in contact with the weight, and you will 100% know when you get hit by a bass or a pollock. It'll be a big hit. Set the hook, and job's a good one. That's the that is the theory. So let's move to the top of this drift, which is where everybody seems to be drifting. It's the whole world of boats, and see if we can find a fish. But we've had there's a couple of inquiries there, which is pretty cool. Species wise out here, you've obviously got mackerel, bass, pollock, wrasse, all of which can be picked up with these sorts of methods. Obviously, if you're looking for mackerel, you're going to probably want to go for mackerel feathers and a weight, find those fish and drift through. But for wrasse, bass and pollock, this is a perfect method, and you can catch some very special fish. So let's move to the beginning of this drift. We're not really moving at the moment. I think the tide will start to shift soon, and maybe that'll turn the fish on. You do generally need a little bit of movement in the tide to get these fish going, but let's see what we can find. Right, so at the moment it's slack water. We found a lot of bass on the Garmin, but with no water moving over the top of these rocks, they are just sitting on the bottom and not really looking at lures. It's pretty normal that that's the case, and I think it's probably another hour and a half before they start really going for it. The tide's going to have to swing around and start moving the other way. So I think we're going to head into Plymouth and go and grab ourselves some food, and then once we've done that, head back out. We might not come back out here. We'll probably just head down the coast, find a couple of reefs on the way back, do a bit of fishing, see what we see, and just continue this glorious adventure. This nav is just such a good boat. I mean, the 26 specifically is just so much room on this boat. You've got a lovely helm position, great seat behind, lovely seat at the back, loads of storage. That front area, which is open, so it doesn't have a seat in front of the console, which gives you loads of space for casting. It would give you loads of space for getting changed if you're out here for a dive. And with that 350 on the back. The hull on these navs is slightly different to the Eagle range from Brig. You don't have those built-in trim tabs at the back, so you are able to trim this boat a little bit more, get a little bit more performance out of it, potentially. You can certainly feel it when you're driving it, and it's a really, really nice place to be. So we're going to get back on that motor, head over into the haze, and go and see a little bit of Plymouth before coming back out when the tide's changed and seeing if we can catch a couple of fish. So very briefly before we leave, just decided to come back over the rocky ground, and when we're saying we found the bass, this is the bait shoals, and then you can see above them a few bass sitting on the backs of these rocks, up here and down here, and obviously bait in between them. There's definitely a lot of fish just waiting for that tide to turn to give them the best opportunity of ambushing those prey fish. So probably in the next hour and a half or so, I think this is going to kick off, but unfortunately we're not here to go fishing. We're here to have a go around on the nav, give it a bit of a test, and obviously make a video. But if you were out here and it's slack and nothing's really happening, but you are seeing fish on your sounder, just stick with it. Wait for that water to start moving. You might have to go up in terms of weights of your jigs, but there's a good chance of some good fish here. Very, very cool. Right, so we've just stopped off in Plymouth. We are right outside the boathouse, and we're going to go grab ourselves some food and grab a drink, and then we're going to head back across to Salcombe. When you're here, it's £10 for 4 hours, so you just need to scan the QR code on the side, pay for your mooring, and go grab yourself some lunch. Right then, plan for the rest of the day. We've got maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours, something like that, before we want to be back in Salcombe to get away back to Berkshire, where me and Sam live. And we've just stopped for some lunch, just having a chat over lunch at the boathouse. And I think we are going to head back towards the lighthouse, see if we can see a couple of bass from the bank where they were sitting. Now the tide's moving, we might have a slightly different result. And then we're going to turn and head back in that direction, see what we can see on the way back, just generally enjoy being on this fantastic boat, and then get ourselves back to Salcombe nice and safe. So talking about the trip so far, we've used 48 litres of fuel to get us to Plymouth, including a run to the Edystone, a little bit of running around in the middle. The Edystone run from Salcombe at that kind of 32 knot speed took us about 45 minutes if we'd just gone in a straight line, so it's not far. With all of these things, you just need to be able to plan and keep yourself as calm as possible as you go on a day, and it can be really, really relaxing. We've had a brilliant day so far. Enough fuel in the boat. We've obviously got our charts. We've got our relief shading on the phone. It's just been brilliant. So all that will change it now is a couple of fish and head back and see what we can see. And to be honest, if we don't catch any fish, it really doesn't matter. I was blown away by Eddystone Lighthouse. I just think such an amazing piece of history, as is coming into Plymouth. And to be honest, coming in on a boat, it's only the second time that I've ever come into Plymouth on a boat, and it's just amazing to see some of the history along here, thinking of all of the guys that have come into this port from crazy voyages, from the Spanish Armada, all of these sorts of things. It really is amazing to be on the water in a place like this. So let's head back to Edystone, see what we can find, and we'll take you on the journey with us. Right, so something that I absolutely love about being on the water, and it's the same up in Southampton water when you're moving around with a lot of very, very large vessels. We've spent a lot of time today having some big naval vessels hanging around close to us, and that is seriously, seriously cool. I think that's a frigate. It's F831. But that is one thing I love about boating, is you can share the water with something like that. It's very, very cool. We're obviously giving her quite a wide berth. And we certainly won't be putting the drone up anytime soon. I think that gun on the front might make short work of it. But very, very cool to be out on the water with the Navy. As an RAF brat myself, so much time for the work that those guys do. Goosebump stuff seeing them on the water. Right, so as we almost arrive back at Edystone, I just thought I'd just run you through a few of my favourite things about the driving position on this Navigator 26, some of the things that I think they've thought through really, really well. The first thing is, this is a true centre console in this rib, so you've got walk round on both sides of this console, and it's also really, really high. It's absolutely fine sitting down, you've got good visibility over the flat part of this console unit, but with this nice high windshield you get so much protection. Even going full speed, wearing a hat and sunglasses, I am never worried about them flying off my head. Nice big aluminium grab handles on the side of this really protective T-top, and as you move your way down into the console unit, you've got two really large flush mounted Garmins, and they just look so smart. You can do everything that you could possibly want to do when you're out on an adventure. You can run your fish finder, you can split that with your engine data and your fuel data. You've obviously got your charts on this side. There's pretty much a part of the screen for everything you could possibly want. We've got our Garmin VHF here, windlass, Suzuki MFD. One of the things I really like about this boat is I love these buttons that are sat on top of here. Now this is designed for when you're out there on an adventure and it's a little bit lumpy. These are nice big obvious buttons that are very easy to hit whilst you're out on the water. And then obviously your Fusion speakers, a little bit of storage inside the console unit there, and a lovely footplate which is really, really comfortable when you're underway. Another thing that's really cool, which I'll show you in the B-roll, is on the back of this T-top you've got a nice big grab handle. And a second ago, Sam was driving the boat, and I just spent some time sitting on all of the seats, and again, all super comfortable for the family. So that back bench seat is a really, really nice place to be. And if you want to stand up in the middle, you've got a lovely grab handle on the back of the T-top for standing whilst underway. So it's just a really, really nice boat. There's no two ways about it. It's been really well thought out. It's ideal for adventure. And to top this adventure off, we quite like to catch a bass here at Edystone, and then we're going to head back towards Salcombe. So fingers crossed we can find a fish. Come with us. We definitely did not find any more feeding bass at Eddystone Lighthouse, so we turned around to find some more fish. And fish we found, but not the ones we were after. We found this amazing ocean sunfish, which is also known as a molla molla. This is an ocean-going species that feeds on jellyfish and can be seen in the southwest of the UK around this time of year when it's warm. And then we found what can only be described as a biblical shoal of bass and got the rods back out to have some fun. There we go. There we go. Good one. Yeah. Right, so all we're doing at the moment is fishing really, really small sand eel presentations and just letting them sink down through the water. There are a lot of bass in the water column, and now we've found them without dolphins. All you're doing is trying to get this down underneath them and then start bringing it through the water. There's an awful lot of bass here. I mean, we've just had 3 quick bites, and there you go. That is a bass. First cast with that new jig. And they're starting to come up again here, and what they're doing is they're chasing small bait fish up to the surface. I'm really surprised that there's not more birds than what we're seeing. It's quite rare to have this sort of opportunity where if Sam turns the camera to the side, you'll see the bass are almost kind of porpoising out the water like dolphins chasing these small fish. And the trick to catching the slightly better ones, this isn't one of those, is to try and get something nice and small that matches the hatch. And when I say match the hatch, match the size profile of the bait that they're eating, and try and get underneath these fish. This is the kind of small stamp. There you go, that's probably 40 something centimeters. That's the small stamp, and the bigger ones are underneath. So let's get this one back, and let's get one. Nice one. So there we go, just like that, we are back in Salcombe Harbour. What a phenomenal day that is, and for me, that is a true Navigator day. That is a true adventure, last minute decision, the weather was perfect, and we've achieved everything we wanted to achieve. We've been to Edystone, it's the first time I've been out to the lighthouse, and what an amazing structure that is. Just crazy to think the history that places like that have seen on this coastline, and being able to go and see that on a boat that you're in control of really is a very special experience. And we've also seen a crazy amount of common dolphins. I don't think I've ever seen common dolphins like that. Every single time we went past them from like 50 yards away, they were swimming over to the boat and playing in the wake, and it was just an unbelievable experience. Couldn't find any bass when we were at Edystone, had a lovely lunch in Plymouth, and found a load of sea bass. Again, something that I've not seen, which you'll hopefully see in the video, is we were finding kind of murmuration-y bits of water that were just kind of fizzing with fish. You could see them in the distance. No birds diving. We get there and it would just be loads and loads of sea bass with tiny little pin fry being chased up to the surface. I think we managed to get some drone shots of them as well. I mean, it was like genuine David Attenborough stuff. And for me, it's a true Navigator day. That's what the Navigator range of boats from Brig is all about. It's about having comfort and luxury, but also a platform to adventure the way that you and your family want to. You know, we've got fishing rods on board. You could delete those and take wakeboards. You could delete those wakeboards and put paddleboards on the roof, or you could take all three, paddleboards, wakeboards, fishing rods, the whole shebang, and have an unbelievable day on one of these platforms. Now, very quickly, I'll walk you through from the front of the boat. The Navigator, this is obviously the 26, so this is the 8-meter version of the Navigator. We've got a lovely squared off nose with that Samson tow post at the front. 2 lockers in that squared off bow area, but you can also have a little seat on that bow area that makes it really comfortable for chilling out. One of the things I love about the Navigator range in comparison to the Eagle range is we've deleted the seat in front of the console, so you don't have that space taken up by the seat. You still have loads of storage inside this console area, but a huge amount of space on the bow in all of the boats in the range for casting, getting changed, and generally being out doing things. You can get your paddleboards off the roof nice and easily. You're not standing on a seat or putting your shins against a seat. It's a lovely big space. I've even seen some really interesting things when we were at Dusseldorf, like a paddleboard style infill for the front of that boat. So there are loads of things you can do, and that's what I love about the Navigator. It feels like a kind of Defender Grenadier style boat for the water. As you come back, you've got this lovely center console, as I mentioned already, true walk around on either side, really tall, very protective, and I can tell you it's protective because I am way too ginger for this sunshine, and that T-top has protected us all day. Now, I have to mention the helm position on this boat. Obviously, I spend a lot of time driving around on things like the Brig Eagle 8, which is a lovely, lovely, comfortable luxury rib, and you'd expect that boat to be comfortable. But this is meant to be a true adventure machine, and I've got to say that these seats are so comfortable. The helm position, both standing and sitting down, especially sitting down, they've got an extra little kind of cushion behind the seat. It's just so comfortable, as well as the seat behind the helm position. I love touches like the big aluminium grab rails on the T-top. Super comfortable here, loads of storage inside this seat on the 26. And as you go into the other boats in the range, the 24, the 22 and the 20, this space is actually left bare underneath. So you've just got a big aluminium frame with the seats on top. So you can clip your dry bags underneath and give yourself loads and loads of room for storage. As you get to the back of the boat, you've still got a full beam bench seat. You've got loads of storage inside that bench seat. And one of the things I like again about the Navigator range is they partitioned that storage, and the two outside pieces are waterproof, but also you could use them for putting bait in if you're out fishing, for example, because you're able to remove the pieces inside those cupboards and give them a wash, keep everything clean and pop them back on the boat. Lovely big towing frame, loads of space either side of the seat to walk through to get on and off the boat. Really wide, flat swim steps just make it really, really easy for getting back on board. And powered by that 350 duoprop, which ultimately is the best 350 horsepower engine on the market for me, bar none. I absolutely love the grip and the turning that you get with that duoprop. It's just so much fun on the water. So that is a very quick whistle-stop tour of the boat we've been using today. We will do more videos on not just this boat, but also the 24, the 22 and the 20. There really is a Navigator for everyone. And if you are the type of family that like getting out and having an adventure, then come and check out one of these boats. You will not have a better time with your family. And ultimately, that's what these things are all about. It's about having time, making memories and enjoying the great British summertime. As I get old and a bit more whimsical, these summers, they come and they go, and you've got to make the most of them, and no better way than do it on any brig rib or any boat. But this is a fantastic option if you're an adventurous family. So thanks so much for watching this video. Me and Sam have had an absolute whale of a time. If you make it out to the Eddystone on your brig or your iron or your UMS or your Gala, please tag us, send us some photos. We'd love to share it on social media. It's been an absolute pleasure for us today. We're looking forward to doing lots more adventures. If you've enjoyed these adventures, please like and subscribe. Drop us a comment on this video to say you've enjoyed it, and we will speak to you very, very soon.